If you're like most of the world, you're familiar with and eat just a few grains. Many cultures have adapted to specific grains, though there are many more. Corn, rice, and wheat are staple grains on which people depend heavily, with corn accounting for 19.5% of global caloric intake, rice for 16.5%, and wheat for 15%. If corn, rice, or wheat fails, will people be able to pivot to amaranth, sorghum, fonio, or teff? It's likely that where you live, you've never heard of all these. In the coming years, we may see simultaneous grain crop failures of our staple choices, even as other grains could have thrived. In this video, I'm going to provide you with 21 grains and pseudo-grains you should know. Incorporating even a few of these into your diet and storage will provide you with greater flexibility and a more comprehensive range of nutrients. A few of these you may even want to grow yourself. A couple of things to note in this video: when I list typical shelf life, I mean if you simply put it in a container and put it in your pantry. I explain in more depth how to stretch that shelf-stable life out even further at the end of this video, and I'll also tell you where you can get these recipes for each of these. These grains are listed from the longest to the shortest shelf life. Wild rice. Wild rice is not technically rice, but the seed of aquatic grasses. It has a nutty flavor and is commonly found in North America, particularly in regions with freshwater marshes and lakes. It's often consumed in dishes like salads, soups, and as a side dish. If foraging, wild rice grows best in gently flowing waters with a muddy or organic bottom. It prefers a water depth between 6 inches and 3 feet. Wild rice is harvested in the fall when the flower heads have ripened and turned rich purple. Cooked wild rice has about 30% fewer calories than brown rice and 40% more protein. It gets the top spot here because of its massive typical shelf life of up to 5 years. Rice. Rice is a vital staple food for billions, especially in Asia, providing essential nutrients and sustaining large, impoverished populations. Its adaptability and contribution to global food security make it one of the most crucial and widely consumed grains worldwide. You can boil or steam it, flake it, use it as a flour, or even blend it in with a beverage. Wild rice that topped our list is shelf-stable for up to 5 years. White rice no longer than 5 years unless careful attention is paid to preservation and storage methods. And brown rice has the shortest shelf life compared to white rice due to its higher oil content. Brown rice contains the bran layer and germ, which are rich in natural oils and nutrients but will go rancid with oxidation and exposure to air. Quinoa. Pseudo-cereals are not actual cereal grains or grasses, but they produce edible seeds or fruits that are used and consumed like grains, are often mistaken for conventional cereals, are high in protein, gluten-free, and cooked similarly to grains. Quinoa is a nutrient-rich grain that originates from South America, is a complete protein source, and is naturally gluten-free. The outer shell is hard enough to allow a person to pop this like popcorn with just a heat and no oil. That will impart a nutty flavor and crunch and can liven up bland meals. That hard outer shell also provides it with a 2 to 3 year shelf life. Chia. You may have heard about chia seeds from those chia pets or smoothies, which are fun to grow, but it's known that chia seeds are a type of superfood. The nice thing about chia seeds is that they will absorb the liquid they're put in, so you can drink them easily, use them as a thickener in cooking, or sprinkle them over food for a little crunch. They contain antioxidants, minerals, fiber, and omega-3 fatty acids. These nutrients play a role in supporting multiple body functions and systems. In addition to a typical shelf life of up to 4 years, it's easy to sprout and grow. This grain would serve you well if you were forced to grow your food. Fonio. When I started researching for this video, I knew there would be some grains and pseudo-cereal grains that I'd never heard of. Fonio is one of them. It's a type of grass that hails mainly from West Africa. Sometimes called a superfood, fonio is a nutrient-rich, gluten-free, and has a low glycemic index, making it easy to digest. It has a great nutritional value and is high in calcium, magnesium, zinc, and vitamin B. Fonio flour can be used as a substitute for other flours in many recipes. It has a nutty flavor and is used in various dishes, including porridge, salads, and side dishes. Teff. Teff is one of the earliest known plants domesticated. It's a seed of an annual grass grown primarily in the Ethiopian region of Africa, where it is mainly ground into flour and used to make bread. It can also be cooked into a porridge or stew. Teff was by far the smallest grain along with fonio. Teff grains contain 11% protein and are an excellent source of amino acids, especially lysine, the amino acid often missing in other grains. Lysine is essential for producing proteins, hormones, enzymes, collagen, and elastin. Wheat. There are 20 or more wheat varieties, and about 7 are cultivated extensively worldwide. Now, I just list 6, as these are often considered closest to their unadulterated ancient forms. New wheat varieties resulting from modern breeding efforts typically have more rows on the wheat spike due to controlled hybridization. In contrast, ancient wheat varieties cultivated for centuries tend to have fewer rows and retain more genetic diversity. Wheat is eaten worldwide in various forms, including bread, pasta, noodles, couscous, tortillas, porridge, and pastries. You may want to try even more ancient variety if you usually don't process wheat well in your body. I've heard that the gluten structures are different in the ancient types, and they're typically pesticide-free because they're specifically grown as organic. Because of this, they may be healthier for you. Wheat can generally be stored longer in its whole berry form compared to compacted flour when also stored in an airtight container. Now, if you store it in its berry form, you can eat them as porridge by soaking and cooking them, or you'll need a mill or a mortar and pestle to pound and pulverize them into flour for baking. Freekeh is a cereal grain made from green durum wheat that is harvested young, fire roasted, and rubbed to remove the skins, with its name derived from the Arabic word meaning rubbed. Einkorn wheat, also known as man's first wheat, is the oldest wheat variety with 14 chromosomes compared to modern wheat's 42 chromosomes, and evidence of its domestication dates back to around 10,000 years ago in southern Turkey. In the same family of ancient grains are emmer and farro. Kamut or kashan is another ancient wheat that is an Egyptian name, but is also called Oriental wheat. It is not widely grown, with only an estimated 16,000 acres cultivated worldwide, and does not contribute heavily to the world food supply. The grain is twice the size of modern-day wheat and has a rich, nutty flavor. And finally, spelt is an ancient variety of wheat with a nutty flavor that has been cultivated for thousands of years. It's a good source of protein, fiber, and various nutrients. Job's tears. This is another grain that I've never heard of before, but I've had to give it a try. These tear-shaped grains are native to Southeast Asia and have spread to other regions, including parts of Africa and the Americas. Job's tears are often processed and used in soups, stews, porridges, and sweet desserts. They're also sometimes ground into flour for baking or used to make beverages like tea or barley-like drinks. Barley. This is an ancient and adaptable cereal grain widely used worldwide for thousands of years. Its diverse applications range from animal feed and malt production for brewing to human consumption in soups, stews, salads, and baked goods. With its rich fiber, content, vitamins, and minerals, barley remains a nutritious and versatile grain choice across different cultures and cuisines. If you plan on brewing after the grid goes down, you're going to want barley on hand. Amaranth. Last year was my first year growing and harvesting amaranth, and this year it popped right up again in my garden. I consider this as a necessary pseudo-cereal grain in your storage because it is so easy to grow and harvest. Also, the entire plant is edible, so I often cut it up to make leaves for my salads. If foraging, it's important to note that there are thousands of species within the amaranth genus, and some amaranth species may have non-edible or even toxic parts. That's another reason to grow your own. It can also be used as a gluten-free alternative flour. Amaranth is considered a complete protein. A complete protein contains all 9 essential amino acids that the human body cannot produce independently and must obtain from the diet. While many plant-based proteins lack 1 or more essential amino acids, amaranth stands out as an exception. I've featured amaranth in other videos on this channel because it has both antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects and is high in protein. We also have a more extensive breakout video on amaranth in the works. The fact that it popped up in my garden the following year without me doing anything tells me it's a great food to plant if you ever are forced to grow your own food. Millet. Millet is a small seed ancient cereal grain widely cultivated worldwide for thousands of years. It comes in various varieties such as pearl and finger millet, and is highly nutritious, gluten-free, and easy to digest. Millet is used in diverse culinary applications, from porridges as flours, flatbreads, and couscous-like dishes as soups and as livestock feed. Corn, maize. Corn is a versatile cereal grain widely cultivated for culinary and industrial uses. I find corn challenging to grow without a small plot of land because it must be planted in rows and must air pollinate. Numerous varieties exist. It comes in hundreds of different types, such as sweet, dent, flint, flour, popcorn, and waxy corn, each with distinct flavors and uses. Corn is a significant source of carbohydrates, vitamins, and minerals, and is commonly used in foods like cornbreads, tortillas, and cereals, and as an ingredient in many processed products. You might want to check out our most recent recipe for fried corn mush. Oats. Oats are another ancient grain. In its unflaked form, it's called a groat. They come in various forms, including oat groats, rolled oats, and steel-cut oats, each offering different textures and cooking times. Oats are known for their high fiber content, protein, and essential nutrients, making them popular for breakfast cereals, porridge, baked goods, and various savory and sweet dishes. Oats are not very high yielding for a small plot, but it's easy to grow. Sorghum jowar. Sorghum is a resilient and versatile cereal grain cherished for its drought tolerance and abundant nutritional benefits. With distinct varieties like white, red, and black sorghum, this gluten-free grain serves as a staple food, a source of livestock and bird feed, and raw material for crafting sorghum syrup and traditional alcoholic beverages. Packed with fiber, antioxidants, and essential nutrients, sorghum is a nourishing and adaptable choice, lending its unique touch to diverse cuisines and dietary preferences. Buckwheat. Buckwheat is a hearty and nutritious pseudo-cereal grain with a distinctive nutty flavor. Despite its name, buckwheat is not related to wheat and is gluten-free. It's commonly used in various culinary creations, from traditional dishes like buckwheat pancakes and soba noodles to gluten-free baking, and as a wholesome addition to salads and porridges. Buckwheat is rich in protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals, making it a valuable and versatile grain alternative in diverse cuisines and healthy diets. Typical shelf life. Each grain or pseudo-grain has a typical shelf life during which they remain fresh and safe to eat. Now, beyond this period, they might become stale, rancid, or develop off flavors. While grains past their shelf life are generally edible, their quality, texture, nutrition, and flavor may have degraded. To extend shelf life, store grains in cool, dry, airtight containers with oxygen absorbers. Although they may still be safe to consume after the expiration date, they could lose some nutritional value and freshness over time. If grains appear undamaged and free from spoilage signs, they might still be suitable for consumption. However, it's best to be cautious and discard grains past their shelf life to avoid potential health risk. To further extend shelf life, consider storing grains in an airtight, vacuum-sealed, temperature-stable, oxygen, moisture, and light-free environment. If grains appear in good condition and show no signs of spoilage, infestation, off odors, or mold, they may still be suitable for consumption, although they may not taste as fresh as they were within their shelf life. You can extend each of these grains far beyond their typical shelf life by storing them in an airtight, vacuum-sealed, temperature-stable, oxygen, moisture, and light-free environment. You can consult our food storage videos on how to do that. If you like recipes for each of these grains or a list of them, visit cityprepping.com/21 grains. Each one of these grains I've detailed here can be ground into flour, steamed, cooked into stews, soaked, and served on salads. Many benefit from a short cooking process that will render the grain softer and breaking down heavy starches. I hope you will get some of these in your diet, storage, or growing in your garden. Food insecurity is often a result of no longer having options. These powerful, nutritionally dense, ancient grains and pseudo-grains can provide you with a higher level of preparedness. As always, stay safe out there.